Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Motorcycle Rewind, and today we answer the age-old question: how many motorcycles can you fit in your garage? Well guys, the answer is 23. That's currently how many we have right now, and today we're going to give you guys kind of a walk around, show you what they are. Had lots of questions about, hey, could I see that motorcycle? Hey, could I see that one? So we're going to take a little time and give you an overview of what's here. So stay with us. So guys, I drug some of them out, and we're going to start right here with our 1978 Honda CB550K. This is this guy, which it's awesome. I'll put a link in the description to the playlist that these guys live on. There's videos on all of these motorcycles, but we've had it for a while. We got it from my friend Yoda. Some of you guys may have heard, or maybe haven't heard, but my old friend Howard, I called him Yoda, and because he knew everything about everything. I got that motorcycle from Yoda, amongst there's a couple other ones that we got from him. And it was kind of funny. The way it happened is I had met him through a Yamaha XS650 that I was having trouble with, and just posted on a forum, said, hey, anybody, I'm struggling with this. And he responded, I've got one of those in my yard. If you want it, you can have it. And his phone number. Talked to him on the phone. Get to his place. Probably about 150-ish motorcycles in different states of disrepair all over his property. And so I'd go hang out with him. We work on projects. And one day I said, hey, we need to talk about some motorcycles because there's some that I'm interested in, see if you'd be interested in selling them. He goes, well, I typically don't sell motorcycles, but what I do is I give them to people I like. So next time you come, bring a roll of tape and put your name on the ones that you want. And this CB550 was one of them. It didn't look like this when I got it. And it was so funny when that happened, because we were finishing up his brother who had passed away, who had finished up putting his BMW back together. And I said, what do you want to work on next? And he said, let's work on one of yours. So not only did he give me a motorcycle, but we worked on it at his place to make sure it runs. So when I brought it home, it was all good. The guy was amazing. He was incredible. Everything about him was just awesome. Such a great friend. And so that's the CB550. We did, on this guy, we did a Mikuni swap. So it's got 2 instead of 4 carbs. Worked out great. And then let's move to, since we're on Yoda, 1967 Kawasaki W1 650. Let me move to this side because this is the pretty side. Not that they're both not pretty, but that case, that engine case is really, really pretty. And I'm a sucker for chrome side covers. Yoda, at the end of his life, gave me this motorcycle you know, as a parting gift, if you will. So it's awesome. It's a great motorcycle. Love riding it. I don't ride it enough, but it runs and rides. And again, I'll put the link to all these videos down below, so if you guys want to catch it. And then let's move to the 1964 Honda Dream 305. All original paint, not wheels, obviously, but not tires, but all original paint, original seat, everything's there. The crazy thing is that the fender had these holes in it, and so I had to source this fender guard. So I found that fender guard along with this rear grab bar because it had those holes, so I had to find it, and eventually I found them, so it worked out pretty good. This is a great motorcycle. Now, this motorcycle started off all of these because of this 305 is the reason why we have all these motorcycles, because that was the first motorcycle I ever had, and I didn't have it until I was in my 40s. I didn't grow up with motorcycles. My mother, youngest of 5 boys, my mother was vehemently against motorcycles. She was very anti-motorcycle. So I was actually in the market for a, where'd it go? I was actually in the market for a Sears Allstate 250, the 250 Twingle, and I couldn't find one, but I found this, and it is very similar styling, so it worked out really, really well. And then this guy is great. When we got this one the same day, we got a 160 Dream for my wife. So we had both this Dream and the Baby Dream, which was awesome. And then we'll go here to 1968 Honda CB450 K1. This is a 5-speed 450, the first 5-speed 450. Before this, it was the Black Bomber, and it turned into this, and I paid $400 for this motorcycle. It didn't look like this when I got it. This is what it looked like when I got it, and we went about putting it back together, runs and rides, everything's great about it. It's awesome. Again, you can see I do have a type. I am a sucker for chrome side covers. I think they're awesome. I love everything about them. So, and like I said, I didn't get my motorcycle until my first motorcycle until I was in my 40s. Had mopeds prior to that, pedal start mopeds. But this one, this little guy right here is my grandson's motorcycle. He is 3. He's going to be 4 coming up real soon. It's a 1975 Kawasaki MT1-B 75cc 2-stroke. Thing's crazy. It probably does 40 miles an hour with me on it, and they gave these things to children. Okay, on your mark, get set, go. It was bananas, but he loves it. It's got his license plate on the back. It didn't look like this when we got it. We bought it at Barber a couple of years ago, and then went about making it pretty because his mom is definitely into pretty motorcycles. So as long as it's pretty, he can play with it. So that's where we are. These two over here, CB71, CB350, and then this is a 71. Shoot, what is it? I think it's maybe a 73. I think it is a 73. This is a 73 CB360. This one is a friend of mine's, actually one of my neighbors down the street. It's his brother's. So he needed some help getting it sorted. And it's really a great example. It's a pretty bike. And it's just about done. We just have to run it on the road a little bit, make sure it's solid, but it runs, rides, everything's great about it. It's, like I said, this is a really great example of this motorcycle. So it should be gone. This one should be gone very soon, today or tomorrow. This one will be gone today. I just have to put the tank back on. And those of you guys probably know all about this guy. And if you don't, it's a 1983 Kawasaki GPZ1100 that I got for free. Got for free from my neighbor, actually this guy's brother. So I got it from my neighbor for free. And if you don't know, it was left outside for about 10 years without spark plugs. Engine was seized. We freed it up. Long story short, we freed it up and then rode it 3,000 miles to Colorado on a motorcycle that was left for dead. And it is a beast. If you haven't seen anything about this motorcycle on our channel, please go check it out because I think it's an amazing story. Everything that should not happen is this motorcycle. Every other reason why this thing should not run. This thing had every reason not to run, except it didn't know any better. And it is amazing, everything about it. And I am not into, let's be 100% clear. This is outside of my scope, what I really like. I'm really into 60s and 70s. I don't really like late 70s. I really like 60s to middle 70s. But this guy has changed my mind. And I don't like to go fast. That's not what but everything about this motorcycle, now I don't care about any of the other ones, but this motorcycle is awesome. This is original paint. This, thankfully, the tank and the side covers were all stored indoors. When they dropped off the seat, this is the original seat. We did fix a little repair right here. But when they dropped off the seat, it had the original owner's manual underneath. So, I mean, it's a really, really great motorcycle. Like I said, if you haven't had a chance to check out the Kawasaki GPZ1100 on our channel, please check it out. It is amazing. And plus, it was a pretty crazy adventure of riding a motorcycle from Louisiana to Colorado. Now, I want to qualify this. People ride motorcycles across the country, around the world, all the time. That's not a crazy feat. The first time I rode this motorcycle was 2 days before I left. That was the first time I rode it. I rode it on the Saturday night and I left Tuesday morning. It was crazy. It was bananas at what happened. And I'd never done it before. I'd never ridden a motorcycle cross country before. And so this guy it's never going anywhere. It knows where all the bodies are buried. We spent a lot of time together, so that's it. So moving on, I think it's the 72 Benelli Panther that we just got just the other day from my friend. We just got it to where it would be a roller, and then we'll see what we do with it as we move forward. Right? It'll be something that'll happen. It'll show up soon enough. Then we have our 1979 Honda CB750K that we paid $300 for. Didn't look like this when we got it. This is what it looked like when we got it. It had been spray bombed blue, and they didn't bother to take anything off. The exhausts were bananas. The exhaust was cut off, and they had just jammed another exhaust into it. And it wasn't mounted. It's crazy. Like I said before, I'll leave the links to these videos because it was bananas. And this guy is just about done. I just have to do some little carb work on it, and then it will be moving on to somebody else's house. I need the room. I need the room, guys. So we'll stay here. These are just a couple of little bikes. XL75, 1979. It's a friend of mine's. He wants to sell it. We just have to do, I'm going to fix the switch for him. This switch does not work, so we're going to fix that switch just to make it work. And then this is my son-in-law's little C200, Honda C200 that we picked up. We got the engine free. We've got spark. We got to make a little bit of noise. And we're only working on it when he comes over. I don't touch it at all. He's doing it. I don't touch it in between times. I may move it around a little bit, but I do nothing to it until he's here. So this is Bryce's motorcycle to work on, and I'm honoring his wishes by not touching it. So next time he shows up, like this light, this box right here, actually goes right there because that is the headlight for that motorcycle. All I did was put it on. I didn't even open it. So we've got tires for it. We've got everything for it. So it's just whenever he has time to come by to put everything on it. And then this was the other 350 I got when I bought that pair of 350s a month or so ago, a little over a month ago, when I bought the pair of 350s. It has a bad valve on this side, so we got low compression on this side. So this engine has to come out, and we got to do valves, put them in, put it back together, check the rings, and then check the piston and all that, make sure everything's good, put it all back together, and then we're gonna go. And we are gonna do, original plan was to put that race fairing on it. It's a little too small. After doing some test fitting on it, it's a little too small. So that's not going to work as our original plan, but give you guys a sneak peek. There is some other stuff that's going to happen. Just look at that name. Yeah, we're going to do a fun little build with that quick. You see the gasket kit just came in. So this thing is going to be think Le Mans if it was a motorcycle build. It's kind of what we're thinking about doing. So moving to my wife's 1978 Honda CB450 Hondamatic. This is a automatic transmission. Just has 2 speeds, 1 and 2. They're not gears, 1 and 2. There's no tack here because you don't need it. And then you just click it. You only need to be in neutral to start it. Once you start it, you can click all the way up into 2 and never touch it again. till you have to start it again. So it works out pretty good. So we have a couple of more. Again, my friend's little 70R. This is a 99, I think. He's selling this one too, and it's cool. You know, I don't really have. I helped him do some stuff with it, and I can't even remember what we did to it, but that's it. And then we have a pair of Montgomery Wards, Benellis, 125. These are for two separate friends. This one we got running for our friend Amanda, and she's going to be moving it on. It's a little 125 Benelli, but it's branded Montgomery Wards, which is really cool. And then this is a 260 Benelli Mojave, I believe is what it is. But this is, again, Montgomery Wards. This one has a crazy oil leak. We got it to run and make noise, but oil was just pouring out. So we just got the gasket kit. So we're going to pull the engine out, put that back together, and then we should be good to go on that. So yeah, I seem like I'm a home for Wayward Motorcycles. I think if people have them and they need a little love, they just drop them off and they bring them. I don't mind. It gives me something to do. It gives me something a little more interesting, because you don't always end up with if not, they'd all, how do I put this? If not, they'd all be Hondas. They'd all be the same. I don't mind this. I don't know anything about them, but I love learning about them. Be able to figure it out. And the great thing is, because I did this one, that is an early version of what that one is. Right? So that should be a 125, and then this one should be the same. So we'll see how it goes. And then this guy, nobody puts baby in the corner, but 1972 Yamaha XS2 650. This is the motorcycle that I spent the most money for. Because this was a bucket list motorcycle. When I found it, I paid $2,000 for it. Not quite in this condition. This is original paint, which I'm kind of a fan of. I understand if you're not, but I'm kind of a fan of that. I would rather have original paint than a restored motorcycle. That's just me, although I've painted a couple of them, and I'll share with you while I'm going back here. But like this guy, I painted. This was painted with 2K. This was Rust-Oleum with 2K clear on top. We did that ourselves. Only because it had been spray bombed all over. It was awful, so we did that. I'm not opposed to painting them, but I'd rather keep them original where possible. That's just me. We all have our things that we're into, right? The same thing with this guy. This guy got painted only because it was spray bomb blue all over, as you saw in the photographs. It was spray bomb blue, and it just needed to be done. So, and then we put the decals on it just to make it look a little bit better. Awesome. So we have a couple of more. So two more for friends. These two, this is a little Honda 50 C100, I believe. This is a Suzuki TS-80, TC-80, something like that. We had got it running for our friend Amanda. It's got an air leak, so we've got some seals that we're going to go ahead and put in. We're going to pull that guy out. I've just got to free up room. I know it looks like I have loads of room right now, but all of those are supposed to be in here, right? So I've got to get rid of about 5 motorcycles. Some of them aren't mine. If I just get rid of the ones that aren't mine, that helps. But then I'm still going to need to get rid of a couple of more, only because we have some big projects coming up and I need to make room. And one of those big projects is this guy. This is the engine for a 1972 CB750. The frame is right here. The rest of it is upstairs in the attic. So again, like when I say big projects, it's just projects that take up more room, because for me to get all the pieces and parts down from upstairs, I need space to kind of spread this stuff out. So that's why I'm kind of looking to thin the herd a little bit to free up some space on some motorcycles, so I can do that, because putting this 750 together is a big deal. I want to be able to lay everything out. I want to be able to see it. I want to be able to just go grab it, to be able to put it together. So, which leads us to yet another 750. This is a 72, I believe, CB750 with a Tracy body on it. This is an all-in-one fiberglass tank side cover seat body on this thing that I picked up at Barber. I traded a friend for this motorcycle. I was not planning on keeping this motorcycle, but when I found the body, I was like, shoot, it's there. Still don't know if I'm going to keep this motorcycle. I know I'll keep the body because there's another 750 getting built. So again, I've got to make up some room. Got to make some room. And then this is the other GPZ1100 that we picked up a couple months ago, and we just got to, again, make some space to be able to do it. I wasn't looking for one, but when something shows up cheap and easy on Marketplace, I don't mind going to get it and then saving it for a rainy day, so to speak, to give me something to work on. Plus, we're not far off from this one. We had to repair, and there's several videos on this one already. We had to repair some damage that was on the tank, some rust damage. We repaired that, and it should be good at holding water. I mean, holding fuel right now. And if we can get the rest of it, we got a fuel pump for it. So now she's putting it together and making it run. We've got spark. I really think we're low on compression, so I think this engine may have to come out and then do whatever it needs. That's what I think. That's why it's stuck right here. It's crazy that that red one over there, this guy, that was left outside for years without spark plugs in it, runs and runs really, really good. And this one, that other one that was in a barn, left inside, you know, we got it to make some noise. We've got ignition, the fuel pump works, all that stuff, but we're just low on compression. So we're gonna have to pull that engine, and when we do, we're just gonna do a, you know, a full-on build on it. But that's why it's sitting right here in the corner. And last but not least, our little, I think it's a 73 Honda CB125 little cafe racer that my friend Yoda, here he is up here. There he is right there. He had several 125s around his property, and we were trying to figure out what we wanted to do. And I said, how about we have a 125 build off? And we ended up building up 3 125s for no reason, but just to turn them into riding motorcycles. And this guy, this is where it was living for years. It was sinking into the dirt. Animals were throwing dirt on it. It was garbage. It was going to go away. It's never going to be ridden again. And we turned it into something that was really cool. And so it's loads of fun to ride. It's just a kick in the pants. It feels like you're flying when you're not, but it's awesome. I'm trying to decide if I give you guys a sneak peek. Some of you guys may have seen bits and pieces in the background of some of the videos. I'll give you a hint on this bench right here. There are 3 engines. There's another one upstairs, and all of these go to Z50s, Honda mini trails. So, and I've got Honda mini trail Build-A-Bikes upstairs in the attic. At Barber, our vendor neighbor at the swap meet ended up showing up one day with a whole bunch of mini trails. He probably had 20 engines, frames, all this other stuff. And I was just wandering through, as you do when you're just looking at pieces and parts. And he goes, you looking to buy a mini trail? And I said, no, but I think I may have a deal for you. I said, if you give me enough stuff to make 2, I'll bring you one back next year. And so he said, deal. So he gave me all the pieces and parts, enough to make 2, and I just have to bring him his back next year. And so, since my grandson has his own motorcycle, I figured our granddaughter Nora needed hers. So she's getting a mini trail for Christmas. Now, I want to be 100% clear. Today is November 29th, and we have not started on it. Let that sink in. Yeah, but it is just a mini trail, right? It's a little bitty bike, so it can't be that bad. And so we have to start up Santa's workshop right over there and build her a mini bike for Christmas. The challenge is next week we leave to go on vacation, be gone for a week, and then after that I have a week to put, not a week, I got about 2 weeks to 3 weeks to put hers together. And again, it just has to be pretty. She's not going to ride it. She's not even 2 years old yet. And so it doesn't technically have to run. It just has to look like, all the pieces and parts where they go and be pretty, which I think we can turn that around. And we'll probably have it running too, because like I said, we have everything we need for it. It's just cleaning them, painting it, sorting it, putting it all back together. The only problem we'll run into is just waiting on parts if we have to. So that's the other reason why I've got to clear out, get rid of these two, because I've got to be able to put tables in here, because if I have to build one of them, I might as well build both of them at the same time. It's just more efficient. I'm doing it right then, so why not do it? It'll be better than doing one now and then stopping, putting everything back in the attic, and then doing the other one before October. No, if I have that thing done, I can bring it to him before then. Just a little teaser. You guys better be into watching a mini trail being built. It's for a really cute little girl. Come on. So that's where we are. Kind of a project update, things to come, things that are going on. And we've got some really cool projects waiting in the wings, that are in the queue that we just need to free up some space to be able to get to them. I want to thank you for watching yet another episode of Motorcycle Rewind, and do me a favor, like, tag, share, and follow us on Instagram at Motorcycle Rewind, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And let me know down below which one of these motorcycles that you like the most. And it might be for sale. I know somebody's gonna ask, so I figured I'd put it in here. Saw the tank on the GPZ where it was. This is a tank for a Tohatsu Run Pet Sport. That's a friend of mine's, Bill, who has all of the pieces and parts. And he's got all the motorcycle parts he ever wanted. And he had this hanging on the wall, and he asked me if I could clean it up a bit for him. And that's what we did. And it's a really cool little tank. It's such a great shape. So I'll share with you what it is. Tohatsu, Tohatsu Run Pet Sport, RUNPET Sport. That tank, so look it up, because I never heard of it before, but it's really cool. Just this shape on this tank, really, really cool.